Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks. Today, we're talking Sunday, March 9th. My editor's off for today, which is why it's coming to you in a little bit of a different format. But luckily, the bangers will not change. I'm going to have 5 for you guys to lock in today, 3 of which are plus money bangers because, of course, that's how we do things here. Pretty confident in the 5 plays that we have for today. Sunday's actually been our best day of the week. On this entire season, Sundays have been our best days of the week, so hopefully that continues today. Appreciate it. Those of you watching, if you could like, comment, subscribe. Before we can get into today's bangers, we do have to do a recap of how yesterday went, and we see my little spreadsheet here. Pretty frustrating day overall. Luka did not come through with a double-double or a triple-double. LeBron stole all the stats in the first quarter, and that was honestly kind of dead at halftime. Now, he ended with 8 rebounds, so maybe it came kind of close, but not really. Malik Beasley really hurt. He ended the game with 17 points. You win by the pumped up, you lose by the pumped up. Yesterday, for those of you that got 16.5, you were able to cash out. Unfortunately, I did not. KP got ruled out again, did not play. He probably would have cashed, so I should count that as a win, but obviously I'm just kidding here. Luckily, Duran rebounds and Dame points did come through. So overall, we ended the day basically breaking even, down 0.06 units, about as close to a break-even day without actually breaking even as you can get. Hopefully we can have a little bit of a better day today. Hopefully we'll make money today. On the entire season, that now brings our profit. We are up 35.2 units. You see the dollar sign, but really these are just units that were up. 6.38% ROI. I'm not going to pretend that's the most amazing ROI you've ever heard in your entire life, but certainly not bad. We'll take being up money. Again, hopefully we have a better day today. When we can start getting right into the bangers, again, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Would really help me out. Click that like button. So for today, I'm going to have 5 bangers, as I mentioned. As always, we're going to go with Props Madness as our favorite NBA betting tool, walk through the slate. 5 official bangers, and then I'm going to give you guys some of my leans as well. We'll start with the official bangers, and I do have a play in this Nuggets Thunder game. I went with Isaiah Hartenstein, and I went with him on the assist. So you can actually get a better price. So unfortunately, I did not get the best of the market here. I got over 3.5 at plus 130. It's now plus 136 or plus 135 on FanDuel and DraftKings. So pretty much readily available for everybody. Obviously, if I like it at plus 130, I like it at better odds as well. Now, this is all about the matchup against the Nuggets. Now, so we see like 14 of 15 centers have hit their assist prop over against the Nuggets. The last game that's being tracked here is February 1st. Obviously, there have been more games since then. I did look into it. Since the All-Star break, about half of the centers have gone over their assist prop. Now, there were guys like Valanciunas who had 6 assists, guys like Yusuf Nurkic who had 7 assists. Even Brook Lopez, his over-under was 1.5. He had 3 assists against the Nuggets. Mason Plumlee had 3 assists. His over-under was 2.5. Those are guys that just went over. We also had guys that had over-under of 1.5 that had 2. We also had guys that missed. That does happen. Jalen Duren missed it when he played. The last game against the Suns, both centers missed it against the Nuggets. So it's not like this 14 out of 50, 90% hit rate still holds true today. But it is still a good matchup. I mean, you hover over the matchup against the Nuggets. They allow, number 1, the most assists per game in the entire NBA. Now, looking at Hartenstein, he's a decent playmaker from the high post. If you look at the entire season, he's gone over 3.5 in about 56% of his games, 55.8%. You want to look specifically with Chet in the lineup because that's obviously very important. It's a little bit worse. It's 50%, averaging 3.5 assists per game. But it's been better recently. Like, he missed it in his first 3 games with Chet, and now he's cashed it in 4 of his last 5. So I also like this as a fade of recent result. He just missed this in his last game against the Grizzlies. He only had 2 assists on 3 potential assists in that game. And Chet actually missed that game, so that would have been a good assist game for Isaiah Hartenstein, but it wasn't. The way the Nuggets play defense is they just really pressure to get the ball out of the guy. Whoever has the ball in their hands, they pressure it to get out of their hands, which is why they allow the most assists in the NBA and why they are an assist team. So for me, it was between Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein. But when both of them are in the lineup, the assists are much better for Hartenstein. Like, we see Chet on the assists in 3 games. He's averaging 2. He's only gone over 2.5, which is what his over-under is priced at in 3 of 8 games. Now, the price is better. It's plus 160 versus plus 130, plus 136, and for a lower number. But I liked it a lot better for our iHeart, which is why, obviously, I went with there. So that's our first play, Isaiah Hartenstein, over 3.5 assists. Again, you can get a better price. I'm just going to track whatever I got. And when I say what I got, I just have a service where I send all my plays out. It's only $10 a month. It's the exact same plays you see me give out for free on YouTube and Twitter. You just get them early. So in situations like this, if you wait, you can actually get a better price. But more often than not, we are beating the market. So if you want to check that out, I put a link to that. It's called Tails. I put a link to that in the description of the video as well as the pinned comment. So that's play number one. Number two, I don't have a play in either of these two games, Suns Mavericks or Grizzlies Pelicans, but I actually have two plays in this Jazz 76ers game. These games are the best for player prop betting, in my opinion, because nobody wants to touch them, so you can find some pretty decent lines. And with all the injury news, that means the young guys are going to play, and you can find some real value. So I got two plays in this one. Number one, I took Filipowski, and I took him on the double-double. So really, this is a play, as you can see here, without Walker Kessler. He's scored at least double-digit points in his last, if I go down to 9.5, which you can change here on Props Madness. 6 straight games, scoring double digits without Walker Kessler in the lineup. And more often than not, like one time he got exactly 10, but 13, 20, 20, 12, 23. It's been pretty good. He's been much better recently as well. You see his minutes have just crept up. So it went from, if we go to his minutes here, it went from like 20 to then 29, and then 37, 36, and then down to 28 and 29. So maybe we call 28 the floor. That's still pretty good. And then from a rebounds perspective, he's gone 10 or more rebounds in 4 straight games with Walker Kessler, or without Walker Kessler, without Walker Kessler. So it's almost like, tell me if this makes sense. As his minutes have gone up, his rebounding has gone up as well. And especially the chances. I mean, we see 13 rebounds on 21 rebound chances, 11 rebounds, 17 rebound chances, 11 rebounds, 19 rebound chances in his last 3 games without Walker Kessler. Now, I like this as a fade of recent results because if you look recently, Kessler's played in 2 of the last 3 games. So like when Kessler's in the lineup, his rebounds obviously are not nearly as high. So because he's missed it in 2 of his last 3, because he only had 5 rebounds on 11 rebound chances in his last game, I think we are getting a little bit of a value on Kyle Filipowski. So I got his double-double. The best offered price is plus 115 odds at ESPN Bet. And I'll do a recap of all my bets at the end of the video. So if you missed something, just fast forward to the end, but please still watch the video. So we're going double-double on Filipowski, plus 115 at ESPN Bet, or it's plus 110 at a couple books like 365, Bet365, Fanatics, and Flip. All have it at plus 110. The matchup against the Sixers is average. They're kind of a hard team to really get an idea of their defensive statistics because everybody's in and out of the lineup. What I know about the Sixers is that their defense is bad. Defensive rating 26, and it's just been going down. So their pace also is kind of hit or miss, but the 26 pace isn't exactly relevant because when the young guys are in the lineup, they run more. So there's no Kyle Lowry, there's no Joel Embiid, there's no Paul George. So they run more with those guys out of the lineup. So this is our third play, is Filipowski double-double. Let's stick in the same game here. And we're going Bryce Sensabaugh, and we're going over 14.5 points. So this is best offered at minus 105. That's still the price at DraftKings. That's what I locked it in. I got minus 105 odds, so you are not sacrificing any odds on this one by waiting, luckily. And I mentioned all those guys out of the lineup. It's the same logic for Bryce Sensabaugh. So he is playing without John Collins, without Colin Sexton, without Jordan Clarkson, with Keontae George. Now, it's only been 5 games with this exact situation, without Keontae George, with Keontae George, without John Collins, Sexton, and Clarkson. So 5 games is tough to get a real idea of. What I do know is that he's hit it in 3 of his 5 games. He's averaging about 17 points per game in those 5 games. And his minutes and his field goal attempts are the most important thing here. Minutes, 24. The most recent game that all this happened, he played 31 minutes, put up 18 shots. 26 minutes, 12 shots. 24 minutes, 15 shots. 11 minutes, 14 shots. Not 11 minutes. 24 minutes, 11 points. So obviously went under, but 24 minutes, 14 shots. 27 minutes, 12 shots. So if we just kind of look at his floor, he will play 24 minutes no matter what. He probably will play a little bit more, but we can count on him to play 24 minutes, and we can count on him to take 12 shots, which is what he's done in every single game. So, all right, let's look at it. How has he done when he's played at least 24 minutes? He's gone over 14.5 points, 2/3 of his games, 10 of 15 games, averaging 17 points per game. That's good. Let's look at how he does when he takes shots, right? When he takes at least 12 shots. Again, these are his floors, right? He's done more than this. His average is more than what we were looking at. We just want to look at the bottom of the barrel floor. When he's taken 12 shots, 9 of 13 games, 70% to the over, averaging 18 points per game. Now, obviously, the more minutes you play, the more shots you take, the more you're going to score, right? That's obviously, these are correlated in my favor. But I'm showing you the absolute floor, not his averages, his absolute floor. And the matchup against the Sixers, again, it's hard to get an idea of what they are. I can tell you their defense stinks, and he takes 37% of his points from the above the break three. Guess what? Fifth worst defense there. Next up, in terms of shot on the floor, is the restricted area, or the paint. And the Sixers they're middle of the pack in terms of points in the paint allowed. They've gotten worse as the season has gone on. And then the corners, they're okay. But the Sixers, bad defense. Bryce Sensabaugh over 14.5 points, -105 odds at DraftKings. That's our fourth play. Our fifth pick of the video. And then I mentioned I'm going to get into some leans for you guys as well. We have Cavs versus Bucks, and we went with Donovan Mitchell over 15.5 points. So I got -102 odds at FanDuel. It's now -106. So it's basically, you're getting right there. I would still take it at the -106 number. So really no issues with that one. This is all about the matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. So we're going to go Donovan Mitchell over 25.5 points. I do like this as a nice fade of recent results, even though he's hit this in 6 of his last 10 games. Look at how he has shot since this 41-point game against the Celtics. So great game, 10 of 11 from the free throw line, 5 of 12 from deep, 13 of 26 from the field. But next game, he scored 26 points, 28 points actually, but 1 of 6 from the field, from the 3-point line, 7 of 17 from the field, 4 of 11 from the 3-point line. So that's not terrible. 8 of 17 from the field, again, not terrible. But his last game, 0 of 6 from deep, 6 of 19 from the field. So we are getting him in his positive regression spot in a really good matchup against the Bucks. Like, you hover over the matchup here. It's not, I mean, their defensive rating is good, but the ways in which they're weak is perfect for how Donovan Mitchell scores. And we see D rank versus position, which is 30. They allow the most points per game to point guards. And the reason why is this combination here. They're the 5th worst defense guarding pick and roll ball handlers, and they're the 10th worst defense guarding transition. And then isolation, they're a little bit better, but these are the two main things for Donovan Mitchell. He runs in transition, and he obviously has the ball in his hands a lot. So we hover over the head-to-head matchup here. He's gone over 25.5 points in 2 of 3 games. And the one game he missed was this game here. He shot bad, 3 of 7 from deep, 5 of 15 from the field. Now, obviously, we want more than 15 shots, for sure. But in this same game, Darius Garland, 39 points, 7 of 11 from deep, 15 of 22 from the field. It's the second most shots he's put up in a game on the entire season. His most is 23, as you can see right here. That's the most. So, outlier game from Darius Garland, sure, yeah. Donovan Mitchell is not going to score nearly as much when that's the case. But as I showed you, the Bucks are the 5th worst defense guarding pick and roll ball handlers, right? Well, let's look at how Donovan Mitchell performs in these good matchups. We go against teams that are just in the bottom half guarding pick and roll ball handlers on the entire season. He's gone over at about a 55% rate, 17 of 31 games, averaging 26.7 points per game. And as we can see, he actually missed it in the first 4 in 5 of the first 6. So we started the season slow. We take those games out. We just look at the last 25. It's a 65% hit rate, averaging 28 basically points per game. That's the bottom half. Let's look at the bottom third, the bottom 10, I should say. The 10 worst defenses guarding pick and roll ball handlers, 21 games for Donovan Mitchell, averaging 28.1 points per game. 2/3 of the time, he goes over. So Donovan Mitchell over 25.5 points, -106 odds at FanDuel is definitely a play that I really, really like, one of my official bangers. So that's play number 5. I actually lied to you guys. I have 6 plays today. I miscounted. I do have an additional official banger for us to lock in. This was a bet that I actually did lock in, official banger. It's Bogdanovic. So I took him 12 plus points. Now, I was able to get it at plus 100. Right now, the best offered price is -105 at DraftKings, BetMGM, and ESPN Bet. I would still take it at -105, to be honest with you guys. I'm not really scared off of that price. So still taking it there. Good to go there. Bogdanovic over 11.5 points. Now, the reason why I like this play, you're going to look at the entire season. You're going to say, this is gross. Well, he got traded over to the Clippers February 12th was his first game as a member of the Clippers. So let's just go to there first. Let's look at that game. It's been 11 games, 6 of 11 going over. So more often than not, when he's been on the Clippers, he's gone over. He's averaging just above what we need him to, just under 12 points per game. But we need to look specifically without some guys in the lineup. Norman Powell, he's out. Ben Simmons, he's out. Now let's look at him with Kawhi Leonard, because that's going to be the case today. Well, it looks a lot better. 3 of 4 games, he's gone over 11.5 points. He's averaging over 14 points per game as well, so even above the average. And what I like is he's done it in the tough matchups. Like, we hover over the matchups here. The Knicks, 3rd best defense guarding spot-up shooters. The Pistons, 7th best. The Suns, 6th best. The Pistons, again, 7th best. Now he goes up against the Kings, who, guess what? 30. Literally the most points allowed to spot-up shooters in the entire NBA. So the matchups he's been going over in the tough ones, now he's got a really good one. And what I also like about it is the minutes and the field goal attempts. It's kind of the same thing for Bryce Sensabaugh. We look at the minutes, averaging 34 minutes per game. We look at the field goal attempts, and he's averaging about 13 per game. Now, the one game he missed was this most recent game against the Knicks. He only scored 8 points. He was 0 of 4 from deep, and he was 4 of 9 from the field. Obviously, we're hoping for more than 4 3-pointers and more than 9 shots. But the other games, 16 shots, that's great. 7 shots isn't amazing, but 3 of 4 from the field, so we can accept that. And then 19 shots. And he went 1 of 12 from deep, and he still went over. So I like this a lot for Bogdanovic. He's going to play 30-plus minutes. He's going to take probably at least 10-plus shots. I mean, his ceiling and his floor, there's like a wide range, so it's either getting like 15-plus or he's shooting like 7 or 8. It all depends on how he's shooting. But in these he hasn't had a plus matchup as a member of the Clippers without these guys in the lineup. So I really like this one for Bogdanovic. So that is an official banger that we locked in. So I think I might have miscounted. I might have had 6 bangers for today. We'll have to go through and count, because I can be a dum-dum sometimes. But anyways, no, it is 5. It was 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So I don't know what I'm talking about. It is 5 points. Sorry about that. 5 plays. Regardless, now to get to some leans. So I did heavily look at his PRA as well for Bogdanovic, because I do think that if you're just like, hey, he's going to play more minutes, all his stats in general are going to be up, and they're not really being priced as such. You can get over 16.5 for his PRA. He averages like 23.5 as a member of the Clippers with these 4 guys out of the lineup. Over in all 4, which is good. The reason why I didn't bet it, because if you look at this last game here, we hover over the matchup. So he only scored 8 points, but look at the rebounds. And that's kind of what I wanted to fade. I mean, he had 12 rebounds on 13 rebound chances. You're telling me a guard who's not like a Cade Cunningham, a Luka Doncic, a Russell Westbrook in his prime level guard, collecting 12 of 13 rebound chances. That's like the perfect storm of every miss going right to Bogdanovic. In the other games, 3 rebounds on 6 rebound chances. That's kind of more in line with what we're looking at. 4 rebounds on 9, 4 rebounds on 5. So I got a little bit nervous adding the rebounds. You could go with the points plus assists. It's the same hit rate as the points. It's 3 of 4. The one game he missed, again, he shot horribly, and he only converted 3 of his 9 potential assists. And that number is 13.5. So he still came relatively close. But I ended up settling on just the points. But if you wanted to go PRA, if you wanted to go PA, even PR, whatever you want to do, RA, you want to do that as well, that's a 6 out of 6 hit rate. So there's not a lot of ways where you can go badly backing Bogdan in this game. And then in the same game here, another lean that I had was Keon Ellis, but I actually had him on the rebounds plus assists. And the reason why, Sabonis and Monk are still out for this game. So he's only played 4 games without those guys in the lineup. These first 2, De'Aaron Fox was still on the team. Now this one, he only played 10 minutes. That's an outlier because the other games, 33, 39, and 33. So like he's going to play more than 10 minutes. So you take that game out. We want to look at his minutes. It's 3 out of 3 hit rate, averaging 8, and we can get over 5.5 at minus 115 odds. You look at the 2 games without Sabonis and Monk, and then also without De'Aaron Fox. It's his 2 most recent games, and he's gone over pretty easily, 10 and 7 on an over under a 5.5. The reason why I didn't bet it was because we're asking him to convert a pretty high rate of his chances. He doesn't average a ton of opportunities. So like 11 rebound chances, getting 7. That's not going to happen every game, especially when you have a guy like Keegan Murray is a decent rebounder and Valanciunas. And then on the assist, converting 3 of 7 isn't terrible. So you're probably expecting a little bit better than that. But then this game is also what kind of scared me off. Only 5 rebound chances and 7 potential assists. I didn't quite think it was good enough to hit the over. So that's kind of why I did not go with the Keon Ellis and his RA. But I do think that it's a good look. A couple other plays that I wanted to at least mention. The Nuggets versus Thunder Shea in the first quarter is just an absolute demon, and you can get over 9.5 at -115 odds at DraftKings. I think that's kind of worth a hit. I mean, he hits it, and he's hit it in 80% of his last whatever games. On the season, he's hit it in 67% of his games. I just see his most recent 3 games, like 5 of 9, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, and 1 of 1 from deep. It's like 12 shots. This is a little bit crazy. So it looks really good. It's a good points matchup for Shea. You see, I guess it's half the guys, but you look at it since the All-Star break, smoked by DeRozan and smoked by Booker. They actually don't allow a ton of points to the pick and roll ball handler. And the last time these two teams played, Hartenstein wasn't in the lineup, but he's played him 2 times without iHart, 8 and 5, so didn't go over in either of those games. But Shea in the first quarter is an absolute king. So if you wanted to go with him, that's not a bad idea. Another look that I had, there's, this Grizzlies Pelicans game. There's probably some value to be had, but I couldn't really find it. The 2 looks are rebounds for either Brandon Clark or Zach Edey. It's because Jaren Jackson Jr. is out, and then the matchup is as good as it gets for the Pelicans. They allow I need to go to rebounds. They allow the most rebounds per game to centers over the last 30 days and on the entire season. They're just an absolute dream matchup for center rebound props. The scary thing is, Edey's kind of hit or miss as a rebounder. Let's put him at 20 minutes and see how well he does with the rebounds. We need him to get 10. Keep in mind, his no over-under is at 9.5, and we're not going to take an 8.5. So 11 of 32 games playing 22 minutes isn't great. His rebound chances just above his average, 15. And we go to teams all right, let's look at teams that are bad rebounders, see how he does in those. 7 of 19 isn't great. All right, let's look at them against centers. We go, and 7 of 19 again isn't great, so it's both rebounds allowed and centers. So I thought you're paying a little bit above what you should for Zach Edey, and I felt the same way about Brandon Clark. Without Jaren Jackson Jr. in the lineup, he averages about 20 minutes per game, 14 and 12, but then 27 and 26. So at the beginning of the year, when he's coming off of a torn Achilles, he wasn't playing much. The last 2 games, he's playing more. 11 and 8 rebounds is pretty good. 15 rebound chances, 14 rebound chances. So if we put him at 20 minutes, 25 minutes, let's just cap it at 20 just to see how he does with the rebounds. It's better than Edey for sure. Whoops, I meant to do the entire season. 12 of 25 games is better than Edey. It's a lower number than Edey as well. And if we think he's going to play as many minutes as he's played, 27 and 26, we just up this to let's say 23. It's 9 of 14. And the matchup is just as good. So between the 2, I actually would lean towards Brandon Clark, but I thought, again, we're playing a little bit closer. I didn't think the value was quite there, and I like the value on the other plays that I had better. So it's 5 official bangers for you guys to lock in. Real quick, we'll do a recap of the 5, not 6, 5. It's Bryce Sensabaugh, and I actually spelled his name wrong. Silly me. Bryce Sensabaugh over 14.5 points, -105 at ESPN Bet or DraftKings as well. Donnie Mitchell over 25.5 points, -102 odds at FanDuel. This is now -106, but I'd still take it there. Bogdanovic, 12 plus points. This is now -105. I would still take it there at DraftKings. Filipowski double, +115 odds at ESPN Bet. Still there. Isaiah Hartenstein, you can actually get a better price, 4+ assist. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to check out the links in the description of the video. Link to Props Madness, link to Tails, where I send all my bangers out you can get. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Everybody bet responsibly, and have a good one.